Sometimes I wonder why one day I can feel so happy just because I see a cute dog on the street, but another day nothing seems to work. Why does happiness come so easily sometimes, but not other times?
That's a good question. I think about it too. For example, I can buy something new and feel excited, but after a few days, the feeling goes away. Do you think real happiness is something different from just feeling good for a moment?
Welcome to English on Repeat. I'm Nina, and with me is Sam. Today, we're talking about what makes us happy and why happiness can be different for everyone.
Hi everyone, we're excited to share our ideas and personal stories, and we hope you'll think about what happiness means for you too. So, Nina, let's start with your first memory of feeling truly happy.
I think my first real memory of happiness is from when I was a child. I remember sitting outside with my grandmother eating ice cream on a warm day. It wasn't a special event, but I felt so peaceful and happy. Now, as an adult, I see that many happy moments are simple, like having a quiet morning, drinking my favorite tea, or reading a good book.
That's true for me as well. Last week, I was walking home and saw the sunset. I stopped for a moment and just enjoyed the colors. It made me feel calm and grateful. I think these small moments can be more important than we realize.
Yes! Sometimes we wait for big things like a holiday or a promotion at work. But we forget that happiness often comes from daily life. Even just laughing with a friend or listening to music you love can make a bad day better.
I agree, and sometimes, when I'm busy or stressed, I forget to notice these moments. I try to remind myself to slow down and enjoy them. Listeners, what about you? Can you think of a small thing that made you happy recently? For me, people are a huge part of happiness. I always feel happiest when I'm around my family or friends. Even if we just watch a movie together or talk about our day, I feel connected and safe.
I feel the same. I think relationships are really important for everyone. When I have a problem, talking to someone who listens makes me feel better. And when I share good news, it feels even more special if I can celebrate with someone I care about.
There's a saying, happiness is only real when shared. I believe that. Even if I do something interesting, like travel to a new city, it's much better if I can share the experience with a friend or family member.
That's so true. I remember once I went to a concert alone because none of my friends could come. The music was amazing, but I felt a little lonely because I couldn't share the moment. It taught me that happiness can grow when we share it.
Listeners, who do you enjoy spending time with the most? Who makes you feel happiest?
Another thing that makes me happy is achieving a goal. It doesn't have to be something big. Even finishing a difficult task at work or learning a new recipe can make me feel proud and satisfied.
I agree. When I work hard for something and finally finish it, I feel a special kind of happiness. For example, last year I decided to run a 10-kilometer race. I trained for months, and when I crossed the finish line, I felt so happy and proud of myself.
That's a great example. I think working for something and then reaching your goal gives a deeper kind of happiness than just getting something quickly. It's like the difference between buying a cake and baking it yourself. The second one feels more special because you put in effort.
Yes, and even if you don't reach your goal, trying your best can make you feel good. Sometimes, the journey is as important as the result.
Let's do a quick activity together. Think of 3 things that made you happy in the last week. They can be big or small. I'll go first. My first happy thing was making pancakes on Sunday morning. The second was getting a funny message from my friend. The third was finishing a puzzle I started a month ago.
I like that. My three things are playing football with my nephew, finding a new song I love, and having a long phone call with my dad. Listeners, take a moment to think about your three happy things. If you want, write them down or tell someone close to you.
This activity is simple, but it helps us notice the good moments in our lives. Sometimes we forget that happiness is already there, waiting for us to see it.
I think gratitude is a big part of happiness. When I focus on what I have instead of what I don't have, I feel more satisfied. For example, I used to want a bigger apartment, but now I'm thankful for the home I have, even if it's small.
That's a great point. I started a gratitude journal a few months ago. Every night, I write down one thing I'm thankful for. Some days it's something big, like my health. Other days, it's just the smell of fresh bread from the bakery near my house.
That's a nice idea. I've read that people who practice gratitude regularly often feel happier and less stressed. It's like training your mind to see the positive side of life.
Yes, and it doesn't mean you ignore problems. It just helps you remember the good things even when life is hard. Listeners, maybe you can try writing down one thing you're thankful for every day this week.
Of course, it's not always easy to feel happy. Sometimes life is difficult. We can lose a job, have problems with our health, or argue with someone we love. In those times, it's normal to feel sad or worried.
Yes, and I think it's important to accept those feelings. We don't have to be happy all the time. Sometimes, just talking to someone or going for a walk can help. I also try to remember that difficult times don't last forever.
For me, music helps a lot. When I feel down, I listen to my favorite songs or play the guitar. It doesn't solve every problem, but it makes me feel a little better.
I also find that helping others can improve my mood. When I volunteer or do something kind for someone, I forget my own problems for a while. It's a good way to bring a little happiness back into your life.
That's a great tip. Listeners, what do you do when you feel unhappy? Do you have a special way to feel better?
I want to talk about something that can make happiness more difficult, comparing ourselves to others, especially on social media. Sometimes, when I see pictures of people traveling or buying new things, I start to feel like my life isn't as good.
That happens to me too. It's easy to forget that people only show the best parts of their lives online. We don't see their problems or sad moments.
Exactly. I try to remind myself that everyone has difficult days, even if they don't post about them. If I start feeling jealous or sad, I take a break from social media and focus on my own life.
That's smart. I think it's important to remember that happiness is personal. What makes one person happy might not work for someone else, and that's okay.
Do you think it's possible to learn to be happier? I believe it is. For example, if you practice seeing the good in every day, it can become a habit.
I agree. I read that if you smile more, even when you don't feel happy, your brain can start to feel better. It's strange, but sometimes our actions can change our feelings.
That's interesting. I also think that trying new things can help. When I started learning Spanish, it was difficult at first, but now I enjoy it and feel proud of my progress.
Yes, and if we're open to new experiences, we can discover new sources of happiness. Maybe you'll find a new hobby, a new friend, or even a new way to relax.
Listeners, is there something new you want to try that could make you happy? Maybe now is a good time to start.
Let's do one more reflection activity. If you could change one thing in your life to be a little happier, what would it be? For me, I think I would spend less time worrying about things I can't control. It would help me enjoy the present more.
That's a great answer. For me, I would like to spend more time in nature. I always feel calm and happy when I'm outside, but sometimes I'm too busy. I want to make more time for that.
Listeners, what about you? If you could change something, big or small, what would you choose? Take a moment to think about it and maybe write it down.
I sometimes wonder if happiness changes as we get older. When I was a teenager, I wanted excitement and new experiences. Now I enjoy peace and quiet more. My idea of happiness has changed.
That's true for me too. When I was younger, I thought happiness meant having lots of friends and going to parties. Now I'm happy with a few close friends and a comfortable home.
I guess our needs and wishes change over time, and that's normal. What made us happy in the past might not be the same in the future.
Yes, and I think it's important to be open to these changes. If we understand ourselves, we can find new ways to be happy at every stage of life.
So, today we talked about what makes us happy. We learned that happiness can come from small moments like a good cup of coffee or a nice walk, and from bigger things like reaching a goal or spending time with people we care about.
We also talked about gratitude, learning to be happy, and the danger of comparing ourselves to others. We agreed that it's normal to have hard days, but there are ways to find happiness, even in difficult times.
We shared some activities to help you notice happy moments and think about what you want to change in your life. Remember, happiness is different for everyone, and that's okay.
The most important thing is to notice the good moments. Be thankful for what you have and try to enjoy the journey, not just the destination.
Now it's your turn. Please write a comment and tell us, what makes you happy? Is it something small, like a favorite song, or something big, like a special achievement? We would love to read your answers.
Thank you for listening to English on Repeat. We hope this episode made you think about your own happiness and maybe find a few more happy moments today.
Take care, everyone, and remember to look for happiness in your everyday life. Goodbye.
Bye and have a happy day.